What's up, family? Man, I want to have a heart-to-heart with you guys. Man, you can tell I've been out at the beach. Man, I'm getting dark, but it is what it is, man. I love the water. I love the sand. I love being out in the sun. Man, I got to figure out how to balance this out. You know what I mean? But again, it is what it is. We're going to talk about Memorial Day. You know, not so much Memorial Day, but how can I say this? How will you be remembered? Stay with me, we're gonna go somewhere. So last September, I had the privilege of taking a vacation to Egypt. And while I was there at the pyramids, I got some sand, and this is what I carry in this little like urn with me. I don't know if you guys can see it, but yeah. So everywhere I go, I have the sand with me. It's a reminder, man, this is the ground my ancestors, my African ancestors came from. This is the ground that we walked on, you know what I mean? And it's just a reminder that my ancestors are always with me. Whether I'm single or not, it's a reminder that my ancestors traveled this land with me. No matter what I'm going through, it's a reminder that my ancestors are with me. You guys know I love turquoise. Tiger's Eye as well. Man, I had a Native American mentor make this piece right here, Tiger's Eye. This piece is put it with the silver and everything. And that's what the turquoise also represents to me, that my African and Native American ancestors are with me. No matter where I go. Tell me, how will you be remembered? Stay with me. We all go through things in life. We have different struggles in life, different heartbreaks, different losses, different failures. But how will you be remembered? You know, you guys know that I spend a lot of time at the graveyards. I love being at the graveyards. I love just walking through the cemetery. I love looking at the different tombstones and things of that nature. The graveyards are always upkept. You know what I mean? Man, just a beautiful environment to me. You know, I know a lot of people are terrified of the graveyard. They're scared of the ghost and all that. Man, I love the graveyards. I do. Because it's a reminder that, man, I'm here today. But come tomorrow, I may be gone. You know, so it's a reminder for me to live in the moment. It's a reminder for me to, man, do everything that I came here to do right now. You know what I mean? While I'm living, because I don't know when my last breath is going to come. I don't know when I'm going to get the last time to do something, the last time to say something. So it's a reminder to me to always be present in the moment. And so often we get caught up in what we've gone through and just the past and what to do. And so many of us, we've never allowed our past to become our past. And say again, the great majority of us have never allowed our past to become our past. Because we keep carrying it with us. We carry all the baggage and the trauma and the just chaos of our childhood. Because we've never learned how to let that shit go. We've never learned how to put that shit down and let it become the past. I get it, I understand it. Man, my childhood was fucked up. Again, my father murdered my mama right in front of me when I was 2. I was sexually molested by dudes in the fucking Christian church at the age of 6 on 2 different occasions. So I understand the pain and the trauma that comes in a lot of our childhoods. The people that raised me was verbally and physically abusive. Always telling me that I wasn't going to amount to anything. Always telling me that I was going to spend the rest of my life in prison. Just like my daddy. So I understand the weight of the world on our shoulders. For those of us that have gone through tragic things. For those of us that have gone through devastating things. I get that. But with that pain, with that trauma, comes an unbearable weight that you ain't got to fucking carry. Man, learn to put that shit down and leave it a fucking alone. And you learn to put that shit down. We're talking about how will you be remembered. You learn to put that shit down by saying, okay, man, what is the fucking lesson of this shit? What was I supposed to learn from this shit? God, source, universe, most high. Man, somebody help me understand what the fuck was I supposed to learn from being molested? What the fuck was I supposed to learn from seeing my daddy murder my mama? What the fuck was I supposed to learn from these people constantly telling me that I was stupid and I was dumb and I had the devil in me and I was going straight to hell and prison for the rest of my life? What was I supposed to learn from this shit? And once you learn the lessons, now you can let the shit go. Once you learn the lessons, now you can receive the blessings that all the pain and the trauma was supposed to give you a long time ago. I see the great majority of us, we've never received the blessings from the trauma and the chaos that we've gone through. We've never received the blessings because we never learned the fucking lessons. And so we keep carrying our fucking past with us. We got to learn how to allow that to just become a memory. A memory of yesteryear. A memory of yesterdecade. You know what I mean? Of shit that's gone on. And man, now that I've learned the lesson, now that I've received the blessing, man, now I'm grateful for the shit that I was hurt and fucked up over. You gotta catch this. You gotta understand this. When you get the blessing, now you no longer look at these shits as traumatic things for your current state of being. You no longer look at the things that you've gone through as, man, I was fucked up and that had me, da-da-da. And you no longer look at those things in a negative way. Yeah, they had you twisted. Yeah, they had you fucked up. But man, I'm so glad that I experienced that. I'm so glad that I survived that. I'm so glad that I thrived through that shit. Why? Because look at the knowledge and the wisdom and understanding that I have now. Look at how much knowledge that I have, how strong I am, how courageous I am. If I could go through this and survive this, then I could go through anything and survive that. I can handle anything and survive that. And not just survive that, because we're not about being fucking survivors on this channel. We're about being fucking light, beacons of light, beacons of hope. So we don't talk about just fucking surviving. We talk about thriving on this channel. Because everybody that's still here has survived some shit don't mean they're fucking beacon of hope. Everybody's gone through some shit don't mean that they're a beacon of love. Everybody's gone through some shit don't mean that they're light being. Everybody's gone through some shit don't mean that they're a child of God. Everybody's gone through some shit don't mean that there's somebody willing that we should be willing to follow. Don't mean that they're capable of being a mentor or role model. Just because you've gone through some shit, you got to put in the work. And you put in the work by understanding what the fuck was this all about. The why. What was I supposed to learn? So many of us, we get focused on the why it happened. Why me? And we get stuck there. Instead of evolving and growing and getting to the place of what? What was the lesson? Forget about the person who did it. What was the lesson for me? What is it supposed to give me? Because I didn't just go through that for no reason. I didn't just go through that because I was some little kid. I didn't go through that just because I'm a victim. Because ain't none of us victims of other people's past. We're victims of our own fucking ego that we've never learned how to let go of, that we've never learned how to take control over. So your ego has you still fucked up as a victim. Because you never learned the lesson. And that's not the other people's fault who's caused you pain and suffering and trauma and all that. That's not their fucking fault that you didn't learn your fucking lesson. That's your fault. They did their role. They did their job. I don't give a damn what you think about them. They played their role to a motherfucking T. The problem is not what they did to you. The problem is you haven't grown the fuck up emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually to understand, okay, now I gotta do my fucking job. I gotta do my fucking part now. They did their part. They hurt me, they left me, they abandoned me, they rejected me, they raped me, they molested me, they did it. They did their fucking role. They did their fucking job. My job is to grow the fuck up and understand why. And not so much the why, but what's the fucking lesson? What's the lesson? What's the message for me? They were just a teacher. But we don't see them as teachers because we're in a victim state. And so when you grow the fuck up emotionally and intellectually, you no longer see them as a fucking teacher. I mean, as the perpetrator of your pain and the cause of your fucking hellish life. When you're in that victim state, you see them as all these negative, stupid ass shit. Because you haven't grown the fuck up and understand that they were sent here to be your fucking teacher in whatever aspect of your fucking life. They were supposed to teach you some shit. And they caused you to go through whatever, they put whatever in your life. They made whatever happened in your life happen. Why? So that you could grow the fuck up. So that you could deal with some shit. You can understand some shit. Maybe some shit about karma you need to fucking learn. Maybe you need to grow the fuck up and understand the value of self-love. Because you're putting love in everybody else. And we got to grow up. We got to grow up emotionally. We got to stop blaming everybody else. I don't give two fucks what they did to you. I don't give a damn about that. I don't give a damn about them. Let's talk about you. What's the fucking wrong with you? What's wrong with you? That you're so stuck on stupid, you know what I mean? That you can't let go of the fucking shit. And the great majority, we're stuck on stupid in that regard. Our ego has us so fucked up. We think we're entitled to be mad at these people and to hate these people for the shit that they put us through. No, what the fuck is wrong with you to where you can't grow up and understand? Man, I'm so glad that they did that shit. And you can't get there because you haven't resolved the shit. Because you'd rather be a fucking victim. You'd rather stay on that vibration of hate and anger and bitterness. That's not those people's fault. Those people did whatever they did, however fucking long ago that was. It's your fault you're still there. That shit happened when you were a fucking kid. That shit happened when you were a baby. That shit happened last year or whenever the fuck it happened. It's your fault. You're still carrying that bullshit. See, but we don't want to accept accountability and responsibility for our fucking own actions. We want to keep being a fucking victim and blaming everybody else for what they did, what they didn't do. My daddy wasn't in my life, and da-da-da-da-da. Okay, that's good. You know, it is what it is. What the fuck did you do about it? How did you live your life? Oh, okay, I see you slept with all these fucking men. You had no self-worth. You had no self-value and love and da-da-da. Okay, I get that. And you blame all that shit on your daddy because your daddy wasn't there. Okay, I get that. But at what point in your life are you going to grow the fuck up and understand, okay, I can't keep blaming my daddy for not being there. When the truth is, I've never been there for me. Because if you were there for you, you wouldn't have all those fucking bodies attached to you. If you was there for you, you wouldn't let all those fucking dudes run through you. If you was there for you, you wouldn't put yourself in the predicaments that you keep putting yourself in. If you was there for you, you wouldn't think so low of yourself. If you was there for you, you would take better care of yourself. If you was there for you, you would allow the past to be the motherfucking past and stop carrying that negative shit with you. And you would grow up and learn the lesson to where you can flip that shit. You can alchemize that shit. All the pain and the trauma, you can alchemize that into some beautiful energy. That's what it means to be an alchemist. That's what it means to be a true light worker. That's what it means to be a true child of God. That's what it means to be a true chosen one. We've gone through all the hell and the pain and the suffering and the chaos in life. And we've alchemized that energy. We've changed that energy, and we can only change that energy because we've learned the fucking lessons. And so we change that energy. We alchemize it. And it becomes the energy of love. It becomes beautiful. It becomes healing. It becomes nurturing. Yesterday I was at work on the beach, and this lady brought me this injured bird. It's federally protected. And so she had the bird in an open box. And the birds are from Costa Rica. And I'm sitting there and I'm like caressing the bird, letting the bird know it's okay. It's okay. I know you're hurt, but you don't have to be scared. I'm sending all this energy to the bird. The bird couldn't get out the box. Stay with me, I'm going somewhere. And I'm just caressing the bird, just talking to the bird. Named him Rover. That's what we have to do in life. I got up to put on my jacket because it got cold. I had the bird for a couple hours, just sitting there, waiting for somebody to come pick it up. After a couple of hours, the bird jumped out the box, took off. I'm not chasing no bird. And God showed me. That's what we have to do to that wounded kid inside of us. We have to heal that wounded kid by being present, by being loving, by being nurturing. That little kid is that person inside of you that's been traumatized, that's been hurt, that's been abandoned, that's been rejected, that's been dogged the fuck out, that's been ran the fuck through, that's been beaten the fuck down. Learn to nurture that kid inside of you. Learn to love on that little kid inside of you. See, you can't keep talking about what everybody's done to you and how they fucked you up without you being honest about the fact that you keep fucking yourself up, without being honest about the fact you keep abandoning and rejecting that little girl, that little boy inside of you. You keep dismissing them and minimizing their pain and their trauma. You keep dismissing the fact that you're ignoring them. But you want to talk about everybody's abandoned you. You want to talk about how nobody listens to you. Nobody listens to you because you don't listen to your motherfucking self. Nobody takes care of you because you don't take care of your motherfucking self. Nobody loves you because you don't love your motherfucking self. You don't love that little kid inside of you. You haven't taken care of that little kid inside of you. You keep rejecting that little kid inside of you. You keep hurting that little kid inside of you. You keep abusing that little kid inside of you. But you don't want to talk about that. You want to talk about how everybody else hurts you, how everybody else leaves you, how everybody else abandons you. We got to grow up emotionally. We got to grow up spiritually. You could sit there and talk about God and Jesus and Yahweh and Jehovah and all this other stuff all you want to. I don't get two damns about that shit. You could talk about all this shit till the fucking cows come home. But in the meantime, while you talking about them, you better be dealing with your fucking issues. God is not going to force you to grow the fuck up emotionally. Jesus is not going to force you to grow the fuck up emotionally. You got to put in the motherfucking work. You got to stop playing these fucking church games and running around and shouting and jumping and speaking in tongues and all this other bullshit and not dealing with your fucking pain, not dealing with your fucking trauma. Because all you're doing is minimizing that little kid, ignoring that little kid, abandoning and rejecting that little kid. All the shit that you complain about what everybody else do. You're doing the exact same thing. See, as a chosen one, as a light worker, as a starseed, as a healer, man, as a real child of God, you remembered. Not just because of the pain and the shit that you've gone through. That becomes part of your testimony. That becomes part of your story that you share with others. Man, look at what God has brought me through. Look at what I've grown through. God didn't just bring you through that shit. You put in the motherfucking work. And yes, God led you out because you put in the fucking work. It wasn't like God just drug your ass through the fucking wilderness and you didn't have to do nothing. That's not how this shit works. Jesus ain't gonna just save you from your fucking past. You're gonna have to understand that shit and resolve that shit and grow the fuck up. You can be saved, sanctified, all that shit you want to. I don't give a fuck. But you better learn how to deal with your fucking past. You better learn how to heal your fucking past. You better learn how to heal that little kid inside of you. And let the bullshit go. Let the negativity go. See, we can't let the past go. Because we never learned from it. how you're going to be remembered. Are you going to be remembered as that person that kept carrying the fucking past? Your past was your present. Your past is your present. I'll say that again. Your past is your present. Because you've never learned how to put the shit down. How to let the shit go. And that's why it keeps fucking you up. That's why it keeps making you feel some kind of way. Because you've never learned how to let it go. I got some incidents burning that's irritating my eyes. You never learned how to let it go. My eyes are so irritated from that. But we gotta grow up. We gotta grow up. Man. Be remembered as a person who's gone through the most. The person who's gone through all that bullshit that you've gone through. But you learned how to alchemize all of that shit. All of that pain. All of those struggles. All of that hate. You've learned how to change that energy into something beautiful. Something healing. Something that you can use and share with humanity to be a beacon of hope, a beacon of love. To be a positive role model of how to make it through all of the chaotic shit that we go through and come out thriving. See, thriving from our fucking past has absolutely nothing to do with how much fucking money you have. That's a distraction and that's some bullshit so you can feel successful. But when you get by your motherfucking self, if you're fucking honest with yourself, you know you still feel like you ain't shit. You know you still feel like you fucked up. Regardless of how big your fucking house is, regardless of how big and how nice your fucking car is, how deep your fucking bank account is, you know you're still fucked up. And so you know the success is only fucking superficial. Because you never learned how to let the past be the past. Nah. Hope and pray that I said something to encourage you, to inspire you, to even challenge your way of thinking. We have to grow up. We have to become the beacons of hope, the beacons of light that this darkened world needs. The world is going through chaotic times. And it is what it is. Don't get disappointed by it. Don't get frustrated that the world seems to be fucked up. You know what I mean? Everything seems to be upside down. You're here for this shit. I'm here for the bullshit. You're here as a chosen one, as a light worker, as a star seed, as a rainbow child, as a child of God. You're here for the bullshit. We're here for that. And what I mean, we're here for the bullshit. We're here to let our motherfucking light shine in this dark and chaotic fucking place. We're here to be a beacon of hope in this chaotic, fucked up place. We're here for the bullshit. Not to be a part of the bullshit, but to be a light out of the bullshit. To be a light through the bullshit. You got to understand that. This is why you're here. This is why you've gone through what you've gone through. So that your light can shine through this time. I love you guys. Happy healing. Peace.